Today I'm going to teach you exactly how I calculate how much I offer on every single home. This is not going to be calculating offer prices for rentals, just for flipping and wholesaling. Here's how I do it. Maybe you can do it too. And the first thing I want you to look at is the bottom right here where it says everything in blue must be entered. These gray values right here and also this green value, it's gonna auto-populate. Don't worry about entering stuff into them, just enter stuff in the blue right here. First thing I like to start with whenever I calculate an offer is the ARV, which is the after repair value. Now what that means, it means how much a home is gonna be worth if you fix it up, rehab it to modern condition. That's what I look at as far as the ARV. And to do so, just briefly, I wanna look at all the comparable homes that have sold, and I wanna see what this home might sell for in the future. Let's say after you fix it up, it's worth $300,000. So I'm gonna write that here. The next number that I look at is the minimum profit. Now this is how much you want to make on a house flip at minimum. I wanna make at least 10% of the ARV. So in this case, I'm going to take 10%, so 0.10 of 300,000, the ARV, which gives me $30,000. So I wanna make at least $30,000 on a flip if the ARV is gonna be $300,000. The next thing that you could possibly look at, and this is if you are a realtor yourself and you want to represent yourself and you wanna get paid for that, and you might make a commission out of the purchase. So maybe you're gonna make $3,000 out of the purchase. You can add it right there, however much you plan to make if you're a realtor. But if you're not a realtor and you're not gonna make money from commission on the purchase, then this is just zero. So that's what that tab is for. It just includes it into your offer price. And I'm gonna take a real quick pause right here because I wanna explain how exactly we're calculating our max offer before getting all into the nitty-gritty details. I take the ARV and then I subtract all the other costs associated with flipping a home. And that gets you your max offer. First thing I look at are the property costs. So these are the costs that it takes to actually flip a home, like your rehab costs, your commissions, closing costs, all that stuff. If you're in a different market, I would just ask all the other people in your market, how they budget, how they make offers. But here's how I do it. I'm gonna look at the rehab costs, and in my market, let's say if it's gonna be a full rehab, interior, exterior, but there's no other big ticket items, I might budget $25 a square foot. So for example, if a home is 1,200 square feet, I'm gonna make a formula, 1,200 square feet, I'm gonna budget $25 per every square foot, which gives me a rehab estimate of $30,000. Also, I'm gonna look at the cost it takes for realtor commissions. Now, typically I purchase homes off market, and even on market, I don't really pay realtor commissions if I'm gonna buy, but I will always pay realtor commissions when I go to list the home after the flip. So I wanna budget for it now. So let's say I might pay a realtor 5% after I fix it up, and their 5% commission gives them $15,000. Next thing I look at are closing costs. Now these are the closing costs that I'm going to plan to pay for the purchase and the resale. So right now I'm just budgeting 2% of the ARV to get me $6,000 of closing costs for both the purchase and the resale. Like, it's not gonna be exact, but it's just an estimate, so you're budgeting for it. Same exact thing goes for utilities, taxes, and insurance. Right now I'm just budgeting 1% for all of those things, and it gives me $3,000. The next thing I look at, if you are in an HOA, you can actually include your monthly HOA to determine how much you're gonna be paying in the HOA for the time you're gonna hold the home. So I'm gonna come back to this one just so I can explain it later where you'll actually understand. The next thing I look at, and here's where a lot of people skip out on, is you have to actually calculate the money cost as well. Now the money cost is really your financing. You really have to adjust this to yourself and what you plan to use. So before I input stuff for the money cost, I actually want to go to this bottom right here, the purchase price. Now I'm just gonna put a purchase price that might be normal for a home like this. Let's say we're gonna be purchasing at $200,000. Because when I calculate my money cost, it's going to depend on this purchase price right here. So for the loan amount, with a hard money lender that I use or have used in the past, they will lend 90% of the purchase price. So they are going to loan me $180,000 of the $200,000 purchase price, meaning I will have to come up with the $20,000. Next thing I look at is the hold time. How much do you plan to hold this property for? So I plan to hold the property for rehabbing it and selling it for 4 months. So I input 4 right here. Next thing I look at is the interest rate. Now you might not know this at the time, but I would suggest talking to a hard money lender or another private lender just to get an idea of what you might be paying. Right now, my hard money lender, I pay them 10% interest. So I know that already, I put 10% interest. And they also charge me 2 points. So I'll put 2% right here for the points. And it already calculates, how much I'm gonna be paying in points right here, and what my total interest will be accounting for this 4 months hold right here. Now I'm gonna go back right here, and if you wanted to calculate your HOA, how much you're gonna be paying for the time you're holding this, let's say your HOA monthly payment is, I don't know, $200. So now that you've entered all the information for the money cost, you can see that your total money cost for this particular flip would be $9,600 roughly. Now we're gonna look at how the max offer is truly calculated. So, like I said before at the very beginning, we start with the ARV. It takes 300,000. It adds whatever purchase commission that you might get if you're a realtor yourself. Mine's 0 because I'm not gonna be getting anything on the purchase for this one. And then it also subtracts your minimum profit from the ARV, and it subtracts your total cost. It adds up all the different costs that we had, which gives a max offer of $205,000 roughly. Now what I like to do is I see how the max offer $205,000 is different from the purchase price that I have right here. So I just like to adjust the purchase price so that it gives me an accurate loan amount and all the loan terms. So I'll change this $200,000 to $205,000 just to roughly match that max offer. And it looks like this is gonna be the more realistic max offer because it has more realistic cost because of this change in the money cost. So what you see here, this max offer of $205,000, that will be my max offer that I will make to a seller on a particular home like this. And here's what I do if I just want to get a short, quick idea of what I want to offer on a home. In my market specifically, I will take 80% right here, 80% of the ARV, and I will just subtract what I think the rehab cost will be. And that gets me $210,000, which is very close to what my max offer would have been if I were to go all in depth and try to calculate it. And once you end up calculating your max offer for you and your market and your situation, you can probably create a formula that works for you. Maybe it's gonna be 70%, maybe it's 75%, but that just works for me and that's how I do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for sticking to the very end. If you stuck here to the end, make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment down below, because if you do, I'm gonna enter you into the chance to win a book. So make sure you do it, and I'm gonna announce the winner in 2 days on my Instagram story. Thank you so much for watching. See you at the next one.